Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video we're going through the trade targets for round 4, in which we start obviously with the doubles as explained in the cash cows segment. So a lot of this will be focused on the double game weeks. I don't think I'll focus anything on the singular game week players. I probably should have done a little bit of a sweep on the single game week players for the cash cows, but it wasn't too impactful, as I think you'll see the general consensus is that the double game week girls are going to be the ones that are just doing everything in these weeks. I mean, just looking quickly, I can't even see basically anyone that I would want from the single game week girls from the cash cows segment. Just looking quickly again, just rehashing it. Yeah, there's not really anyone that I really like other than Fielder or Fielder or whatever, however you say her name. As yeah, even her is probably overruled by Hartle anyway, so I don't think there's anyone that you really want to grab anyway. So let's just jump into the trade targets section here, and you'll see that I have it set for the toggle of the double game weeks on. Drennan is the highest scorer from last week, and honestly, with all the chaos, and she only had one bad game. Remove that, she's averaging what? 214, 223, divide that by 2, 116 and a half. So yeah, she's averaging pretty well when you take out that 34, which I don't know what happened. Plays Collingwood and Brisbane, so tough week. I probably wouldn't go for her. I think she's probably the second midfielder that I'd go for, and I'd honestly probably just go for a rookie midfielder that has a decent enough role, who yes will burn 80 points across the week to Drennan, but I think will gain so much more in cash gen that is a lot easier to get to someone next week. You have Bree Davey here, 110 last week, and I think basically with her having the easy 2 matchups, yes, she might have Sonny Baker tagging her, but I don't think Sonny Baker is almost able to do it. Let me put it that way. I don't know how tall is Bree Davey. Bree Davey is 175 centimeters. Let's go to Sonny Baker and just see how tall Sonny Baker is. I probably said her name wrong anyway. Sane Baker. She's 173. She's actually relatively tall, so she probably could do the job, but I don't expect her to do the job. Honestly, there's a difference between tagging Blackburn and Davey, I would say, just quietly. If we go to Blackburn's a good 6 centimeters shorter than Davey, and also she's I would think a good Davey is a little bit more built, I would say, than Blackburn, and just plays a different style, a more bash and crash style compared to Blackburn. So I think that's why Bree Davey will handle the tag a little bit better, and I think she was just warming up a little bit against Hawthorn, in which was a pretty poor display by the by Collingwood in general, and I think that they will be able to bounce back a little bit more against West Coast and the Western Bulldogs. So I think that Bree Davey would be my number 1 trade target this week, just because she plays the double. I think that she is probably value at a 1.10. Let me go to Davey here. I was typing in her value here. She's priced at 85, has a break even of 78. So yeah, I think that she could easily go 110, 120 just for 2 games here, especially given the draw that she has, and then those 2 games she can honestly generate a little bit of cash, because if you look at that, if she goes 100 and 120, she goes, say, 120, 120, she'll gain like 200k, 250k, honestly. She'll gain somewhere close to that, if not more, and that'll just generate so much cash gen out of her that she'll almost be able to help out the possible trade that I have to get to Ghana in a way. So yeah, I'm just looking at that going, I think I can get that trade, and then also allow me to potentially fix up the Schleicher trade that I have once she's done with her double game week, so I can trade her to Carney. So yeah, I think that Bree Davey, we just hope that she does really, really well, and then we can trade her out, honestly, because she probably will start to struggle. But we'll see about that, if we need to actually trade her out or not, or whether we can go to a rookie downgrade, etc. At that point. We'll see how that goes, as I want to get to Ghana in that double game week, or Riddell, but we'll need to see how that goes with that. And then you have Ella Roberts here, one that I'm not touching, that West Coast midfield, honestly, not touching it, just because it is so chaos. Let me just bring this up for you guys just to show you how chaotic that midfield is. You look at here, you go Ella Roberts, 67, 46, 50. She's not getting a consistent role. You look at here, you got Bushby, who's out now. But I think, was Bushby rucking? Was Bushby rucking or was she playing on ball? I forget what she was doing. CBAs, no on ball, so she was playing on ball, which is a good thing that she was dropped for the sake of Roberts. You've also got Larkin here. Swanson played no on ball, but she's slated to play on ball this week. Where is Swanson here? Swanson is named at half back. This is just chaos. So you got Swanson potentially could play on ball. You got Sonny Baker, their tagger. You have, I think Smith was playing a little bit of ruck time even. You have Lakay the ruckman. So you got Roberts. You have Belinda Smith. You got Sonny Baker, so that's 2. You got potentially Swanson 3. You have Jess Hoskin, whose role is capitulated, who could play on ball as well. You have Ella Roberts 4, I think. Is that so? You got 1, 2, 3, 4. Bushby won't be there. Roberts 5. Drennan 6. Lewis 7. They have 7 legitimate on ballers. That's even excluding. Or not including Bushby, who would be their 8th, who's not playing this week. The first game of the round. So they have 7 on ballers for 3 slots realistically that get good, and then a 4th one that gets around that 45-50%. So they have 4. So 3 of these girls are going to miss out unless they do this massive sharing that they do. And you'll see here that in round 2, you'll see that it was Baker that missed out when they didn't run a tag for some reason. And Hoskin had some time. Roberts had a little bit less time. Drennan had no time on ball, which I don't think they'll do that because she looked really bad when she had no time on ball. So I don't think that'll happen. So I think you'll have Sonny Baker taking up. So I think this is more of a look of what will happen because I think you need to have Drennan and Baker on ball as a tagger and a like non. So I just don't know where Roberts basically takes up more, gets more midfield time. I think she's going to be used more forward, but watch them play her 100% midfield time after I've said that. Ellinger could be an interesting one, but I just think that was an outlier performance, to be honest with you. Grider, I think this is the same thing, outlier performance. Campbell, I really like this. I said this in the the cash cows segment that I think that Ramos and her pick up the Benici time. I really do think that she's one that I don't think will score 97 each week, but I think she can average. With Benici being out for 2-3 weeks, I think that she can average across the 2 weeks. I think she can put up sort of around that 240 points or so, and that'll get us some good cash generation from her. Plus, also, I think that she's just one that can average sort of around that 65-70 marker anyway, without a complete midfield role. And I just think these 2 weeks, she will have a pretty good role, and she will just be a forward that I can more so rely on, especially with a strong tackling base. If she gets some more disposals, if she gets up towards that 15 to 20 disposal marker, it doesn't really matter about the tackles as much, as she'll already be on about 50 points. Add in 7-8 tackles, and that sort of gets her around that 80 marker anyway. So yeah, that is what it is. Pritchard, I don't know if she has much more to gain, possibly, and that's the problem. Even with Blackburn being out, I just don't know if Pritchard has much more that she can possibly do to really generate more scores. So I think she'll be sort of a 100 scorer, but I don't know if that will necessarily be as much as what like a Bree Davey can do, as we've seen before with Bree Davey. If I just go to Davey here quickly, Bree Davey has had a couple of averaged 89 last year on really bad CBAs, and averaged 77 the year before in 1 game, and averaged 94 the year before that in 11. So I think she is a sort of low 90 scorer and has a max score, I believe, of 131. So she can score. Against West Coast Eagles, had 1 game for a 27. Hasn't played them like in forever. Hasn't played them in like 5 years. And then against the Western Bulldogs, she averages 105 against the Western Bulldogs in 4 games, going back season 5, 4, and 3, and then has a 61 against them in season 1. She scores really well against them, which is a good thing. And I think that she can really just put up a score. And then obviously against West Coast Eagles, I think she'll put up a decent enough score there, as she's shown in the past to be able to do that. If we look at her previous scores last year, 122 in there, and a couple of lowish scores there when she wasn't really. 122 on 0% CBAs is quite outlandish. And then you see a 131 here on 72% CBAs, so she can score a 126 here against North Melbourne, so she can score against pretty good sides, so that is a good sign there. And so I generally think that she'll score all right. She doesn't rely on goals, and really anything other than sort of a massive tackle base, which will be huge if she can get some tackles in there, as well as just, I think, hopefully getting more possessions now that Benici is out. So that is what I'm sort of looking at for her, especially against weaker opposition. I think she put up 22 and 10 here against the Brisbane Lions and the goal. So I think she can put up 25 and 8. And 25 and 8 gets you the 110, or give or take a little bit. So there's that as well. And she did have 1% ruck time, which was really weird. Don't know why she was in the ruck. But anyway, there's that one. And then we sort of just continue on with girls that I don't think will score that much. I think Britain was a little bit of an outlier game. I can't see any role-related change that would really suggest that to me, that she was actually scoring well. If we just go to Britain here, Jay Britain here, you can see that Britain, it was just sort of I think an outlier game, to be honest with you. A little bit more up the field. I will say that, a little bit more up the field, but still, she scored a 34 in, if you look at those splits, an oddly similar split game. I just don't know. It was her highest score ever by 26 on top of the 57 that she scored there. And so, I'm just not intrigued too much to look at it as much. And I don't think she'll score too much. I think she may score 50s, but 50s isn't that valuable at her price anyway. So I think you can just go for a rookie girl that's probably going to score near enough around her. Ali Anderson, I'm just absolutely praying that she gets tagged out of games, because that's my only way out of it, is that she gets tagged out of games, because she's just unattainable for me, especially with the injuries and the fact that I do want to grab up Campbell because of the increased role. So that basically means that she's unattainable, other than grabbing up like a Britain, who I don't like anyway. I don't think I can grab her, which really does suck a little bit. I would basically need to go, could I technically do it? Just thinking about it here quickly. I may explore it, but I'm not necessarily looking at it, just because I'm trying to think of the cash generation that I have. I might just be able to do something that I am thinking about, but I'd have to look at it quickly here to make 100% sure that I can do it. And it might just work out, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. I just need to make sure of it, that I can actually do it, because that would be the way to do it. And I'd have Ali Anderson in the side, which would work a lot better. And then next week, it would suffer a little bit next week with the not having the cash, but it may work. And I'll just have to explore it. Dawes, Smith, Edmonds, Rowe, I don't know. I don't really like any of these girls outside of that, really, to be honest with you. And in the single game weeks here, even though you're not trading in any of these girls because they're not really going to be of value, is there anyone here that I like? Riddell will be next week. Drennan we went through. Strom is just dominating, which really does suck, because she is dominating the comp. Goering as well is dominating. But Carlton have a break. You'll have to wait for her. That just sucks that she gained 278k after I traded her out a couple of weeks ago. She was 400k when I traded her out. Now she's doubled her price. So that sucks, as she is the best rookie to have. Of course, I got her, but then traded her out, because that sucks. Wales, Bree Davey, Mackay, none of these girls. Ponta maybe, just because she's 106, but I'd still back in Campbell, who's 40k cheaper, to outscore Ponta in 2 games week. So that pretty much explains everything with the trade targets. I actually went shorter on the trade targets than the cash cows, which is surprising, I guess, a little bit. But I guess this week is sort of an up and down week, with only actually 2 options really, or 3 options in the midfield, and only really 1 option in the forward line. So there's only really 4 or 5 options to actually trade for. So you got Anderson, Davey, Drennan, and Roberts, and then you got Campbell. And that's basically everyone that I can think of that would actually be valuable to trade in. So you've got 5 trade targets. Pick probably 2 and then a rookie as well. And that's basically what you're doing for this week. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video, remember to like and subscribe. Turn the notification bell on as we wrap through all of these videos for the Tuesday, given that we have the early game week tonight, starting with, who is it? It is the West Coast Eagles against Collingwood, or Collingwood against West Coast Eagles, if you're so pedantic about the home team first. But anyway, that is the video, and I'll see you guys for my team reveal, which I'll go through those options that I sort of discussed at the end of the game week with Ali Anderson versus Bree Davey, the options there. And I'll show you my trades or potential trades for this week. And I'll see you guys in that video. Bye, guys.